a look at this. Rob, the club's plans for this transfer window, and as well as Ruben Amorim's own wants, did that have a role to play in what's happened?
Yes, they did. I mean, look, the people I've been speaking to have made it clear that it is not a difference of opinion over transfer policy that has led to the breakdown in relationship and ultimately Ruben Amorim leaving Old Trafford. But there was a difference of opinion. I think Ruben Amorim felt that with Manchester United just outside the Champions League places, I mean, what are they now, 3 points off the Champions League places? If Manchester United really went to invest in this squad in January, in what is probably not the strongest Premier League right now at the top end, he believes he could get them into the Champions League places with the huge financial reward that would come as a result of that, paying back any investment that Manchester United had made. From Manchester United's point of view, they are immovable in this area. They will not go back to a situation that they've had in previous years. It's what Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the rest of his Ineos team have been doing for the past couple of years, is trying to cut costs, make sure that they don't employ players on inflated contracts. Don't bring players in for the short term and then get stuck with them for the long term. And their argument has always been, yes, there were 5 teenagers on the bench against Leeds. They've got injured players coming back who are expected to play against Burnley on Wednesday night. They've got 3 players of top quality coming back from the African Cup of Nations in the next 10 days at the longest. And so they will not bend their policy, their plan, and they plan to spend pretty significantly in the summer on central defensive midfield players. If they were to spend money now to cover for the injuries or where Ruben Amorim felt they were lacking, that would have a direct impact on what they could spend in the summer, and they're just not prepared to do that. And so there was definitely a source of tension between the head coach and his bosses over that, but it was not the crucial factor in him leaving. The crucial factor, as we just said, the club felt that he'd been emotional and hadn't adapted his tactics enough over the long term.
Carve, the next head coach, will they be prepared to only have partly a say in transfers?
I think they'll have to. I mean, that's what's expected when you're a modern head coach. You're not going to have the final say. You will have an important say, but it's only your voice is only going to be one of quite a few voices. Now, I'm not sure that's the right way to go in football. I remember the way it used to be, when it used to just be a manager who used to decide. That's the way older-fashioned managers preferred it. Have things improved? I'm not so sure. If you look at all the squads of the top clubs, is it better having this new modern structure in place, or was it better in the old days? That's an argument for another day. What is undeniable is that Manchester United's recruitment policy has been atrocious, pretty much, for a long time compared to their rivals. It's been getting better. You can't fix it in one transfer window. It's going to take a period of time. It's going to take moving players out. We're on big contracts, bringing other players in. But I thought this was a long-term project with Ruben Amorim. I thought that he'd signed up to the fact that this was going to take time, that he was only one of quite a few voices. But obviously, behind the scenes, things have gone on which have led the powers that be at United to conclude that it's not going to work with Ruben Amorim, and the best thing is for him to leave. During the window as well, I think it's significant that this has happened during the window, during AFCON, and at a time when he's been deprived of players like Bruno Fernandes because of injury.
2 things I would just say there, and it's following on from what Carve's just said. I think the fact that United are getting rid of Amorim and his backroom staff now is a significant cost. Carve's already mentioned that it's £55 million they've spent on managers and paying them off in recent times. That's going to have a huge impact on what Manchester United can do in this January transfer window. They weren't planning on spending big in this January window anyway. I think now it's going to be very, very difficult for them to do so and stick with their long-term planning. I know for a fact that Ruben Amorim was keen on Jean-Philippe Mateta and Danny Welbeck, and he had spoken to his bosses at Manchester United about the possibility of bringing one of those in. He feels he needs more attacking options, more striking options to go alongside Benjamin Sesko, who's taken a little bit of time to adapt to the Premier League. The truth is that was never going to happen. Manchester United spent a lot of money in attacking areas in the summer. They will turn their attentions to central defensive midfield players in the summer. So he knew that wasn't going to happen, but it's another sign of that friction. And Clinton, look, you know this more than anybody. There's always friction between head coaches, managers and bosses about transfer policy. Managers want to spend a fortune, clubs want to keep the finances tight, don't they?
Yeah,
that's nothing new.
No, that's nothing new. That always happens. And you know what? They spent a lot of money in the summer on attacking options, which they needed. Don't get me wrong. If I'm Ruben Amorim, I'm looking at Šeško and saying, you're not delivering. I do need probably a Mateta or Welbeck, who's previously been there. But what Man United could say is Danny Welbeck's at that age where if we're going to pay money for him, we ain't going to get kind of an investment. That's probably the same with Mateta. He's going to be 28, 29. But you look at that in the summer, he's got a year left at Crystal Palace. Maybe he can do the business now. I think the here and now, what Man United need is a centre midfielder. They're not going to get Belieber now, are they? Brighton are not going to let him go. It's going to cost something like 80, 90 million to get him at this moment in time. So, obviously, a manager will go and ask the hierarchy, the players that they want in there. You're always going to want to improve your squad. But I think the timing of it, you know what it is? You look at it now and you think to yourself, Ruben Amorim was doing all right. The problem is, and why we're sitting here and everyone's been talking about it all day, the reason he lost his job was the conversation he had with Jason Wilcox. Nothing else is what he had with Jason Wilcox. Because we've been screaming from when he's come at the last year, Ruben Amorim needs to lose his job. And then all of a sudden, they'll get 3 or 4 games and they'll do well. Then they'll lose 2, and then we'll say the pressure's on, he's not going to change. Only the Pope will make him change. Well, he did change his formation in the end. And then you're looking at him thinking, well, you're 6 at the moment. No one's really talking about Man United. The heat was off you. You were getting results. You had the players, some of your best players away at AFCON. They're going to come back in a couple of weeks. And you're in a good position. The games you got coming up are very winnable. But obviously, it's that conversation he had with Wilcox. And in the heat of the moment, if he plays it back now, I bet Ruben Amorim is probably thinking to himself, I wish I didn't say nothing. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, everyone's been like that. You make a reaction, and it's cost him his job, evidently.
Big Arsenal financial boost. In a landscape where financial prudence often dictates the strategic decisions of football clubs, Arsenal FC stands on the precipice of a transformative January transfer window. Football finance expert Kieran Maguire has shared insights suggesting that the Gunners are well positioned to unlock a spending spree exceeding £100 million if the right opportunities emerge. This article explores Arsenal's financial situation, the implications of their spending potential, and what this means for the club's future. Arsenal's financial landscape, a closer look. Current financial position. Despite reporting losses around £70 million, Arsenal remains comfortably within the Premier League's profitability and sustainability limit of £105 million. This financial cushion allows the club significant latitude when it comes to bolstering their squad. It's a paradox that speaks volumes about the club's vision and management. While the losses may raise eyebrows, they are not excessively concerning in the grand scheme of Premier League football finances. Understanding the PSR regulations. The PSR regulations were put in place to maintain financial fairness among clubs in the Premier League. They aim to prevent clubs from overspending beyond their means while encouraging responsible management. For Arsenal, being within these financial parameters serves not just as a safety net, but also as a foundation upon which to build a competitive squad. Creating opportunities from financial challenges. While the loss of £70 million may initially sound alarming, it's essential to consider the reasons behind this. Factors such as the financial implications of COVID-19, reduced matchday revenues, and the costs associated with maintaining a competitive team have all contributed to this figure. Nevertheless, Arsenal's management has strategically navigated these challenges, ensuring that the club does not veer into financial turmoil. The transfer window, a time for transformation. Forecasting the January transfer window. As we approach the January transfer window, the potential for Arsenal to spend big is generating excitement among fans and pundits alike. Maguire's insights indicate that if the right talent is available, the club has both the finances and the resolve to make significant signings that could reshape the squad. Identifying elite talent, the key challenge. The crux of Arsenal's strategy will revolve around identifying players who are not cup-tied in European competitions, ideally elevating the squad's quality and depth for their ambitions both domestically and in European competitions. This presents a unique challenge, but with a proactive scouting approach and an eye for talent, Arsenal's management is well equipped to seize the moment. Building a competitive squad, a forward-thinking approach. The club's vision for the future. Kieran Maguire emphasizes that Arsenal is a forward-thinking, well-run club, built on a strong financial foundation. This perspective is critical. It signifies a shift in the club's strategy over recent years. The focus has been on not just temporary fixes, but nurturing a squad that can contend for top honors consistently. Past transfer windows. Lessons learned. Arsenal's recent transfer activities have showcased a commitment to long-term planning rather than quick fixes. The acquisition of young talents and emerging stars has laid the groundwork for a squad that can evolve, rather than one reliant solely on established stars. This strategy illustrates the management's understanding that building a successful team requires time and patience. A community of support, engaging the Arsenal community. As Arsenal looks to the future, it's also crucial for the club to maintain strong ties with its fan base. Engaging with supporters through social media and community initiatives can foster a sense of belonging and shared purpose. The phrase, "Together we move forward," encapsulates this ethos perfectly. Support the journey. Your support plays a vital role in this journey. By following engaging content creators and staying informed, fans can help foster an environment where knowledge sharing and passionate support thrive. The road ahead. Arsenal is at a pivotal moment where financial potential meets strategic opportunity. The January transfer window promises exciting possibilities, and with the club's focus on smart investments, the future looks bright for the Gunners. Fans should remain optimistic and engaged as the club navigates these crucial decisions. Together, we champion Arsenal, striving for glory in every competition. Your support is invaluable. Follow Hakiza B. Frank for the latest updates, insights, and breaking news that shape our beloved club. Up the Gunners! As Arsenal prepares to take definitive steps in the coming months, one thing is clear: the blend of financial foresight and a passionate community of supporters sets the stage for an exhilarating chapter in the club's history. Stay tuned, stay supportive, and let's see how the Gunners rise to the occasion.